Okay, a stupid but good idea. Um, so I've looked on the internet for 3D models of little Bill Cipher boy here, and there's not many of them. So today I'm gonna attempt to make Bill Cipher. 2D form, 3D form, different form or something. I don't know. I'm also planning on making a keychain of this guy because why the hell not? They released their new book and I've read it. It is pretty good and lore worthy and man, it is really good. And there might be a new show coming out soon. Nobody is really sure yet. But people are saying it's official, so uh, whatever. But hey, Bill Cipher, let's fucking do it. Okay, so first I tried to make the square kind of skinny and try to make it like a triangle, and I ended up just adding the vertices together, just like, just morphing them together. Then I started to make his little hat, and try to make it the same length as him, and after doing this, I tried to line everything up to make it look like Bill, you know. I got his hat into place. I managed to get it to a good thickness. I feel like I did actually make it more thicker later on, but whatever. Um, Now I'm gonna make the legs. Yay, legs! But first, before that, I wanted to mirror everything, and so it's more easier for me. Then I started to get the legs into locations, Then I started to make the feet. They look very feety right now. Well, okay, well now they don't, but whatever. I changed that later on, okay? It doesn't look that bad later, okay? I'm just getting the perfect length for everything, and after that's done, that I decided to move on straight to the arms by duplicating the legs and removing the feet. Now, I have no experience with making hands. I will be completely honest with you. I watched several tutorials trying to figure out how to make hands, but it wouldn't actually show me what I was looking for. So, after a little while, I kind of just came up with this result. Now, I know it doesn't look that good currently, but it'll change later, alright? It'll change later, I'm pretty sure, okay? Um, yeah. So now I finally move on to the eyeball. So, I tried a stupid technique, okay? I will be honest. I was stupid here. So, I decided to make a completely new cube and redo the exact same thing. But this time, I was smarter. I used my brain to make this beautiful eye. Man. Now, I tried to make it as pointy at the edges as I could, but I was just not succeeding with that. So, I finally came up with this solution. This thing. Yeah, so I completely scrapped it. Again, I scrapped it. This time I'd gotten a more of a cylinder shape. The eyeball's more of an eyeball. And this time it was actually coming out quite well. You know, After I was done with that, I tried to cut it in half. And it was official. The shape was the proper shape. Yeah. Then I tried to do some fancy shit with Bill's, is his corners, because in the screenshot you can see, oh, he's a little smooth around the edges, So I tried to get that same look. It took me a little while, it took me a few tries, but after doing some stuff with it, and messing with it a little, I got the perfect result, that I wanted. After I was done with that, I was gonna do the bricks. The little bricks on the front of his body, at the bottom. It's pretty good, right? So I don't want to do it like 2 separate times. So I kind of just like mirrored it after cutting Bill's body in half, you know? And I wanted this to look fancy, you know? So I painstakingly cut each and every single line with, you know, the worst cutting tool, you know, because it wouldn't let me cut the actual thing, which is kind of sad. After I was finally done cutting all the edges I needed to, I finally selected all the faces I needed to select, and decided to invert them, you know, put them inside the body, so they look a little fancy. I lined up some things, just made them, like, look better, in general, just look better. You know, after I was done making him look better, I tried to make an outline for his eye and put it inside of it, and honestly, it turned out pretty well, though I forgot to unmirror it, so I had to do the back a little bit, but that was fine. I made the arm a little longer. I was finally gonna make his bow tie. Yep, that's right. You know, and I tried multiple things. I came up with this result. It looks pretty good to me, honestly. You know, I made it centered. I took it a little away from the body, so it's not like on him. You know, I fixed some things up. You know, and then that's whenever I started to do the colors. Now, this is where it got confusing and kind of upsetting, to be honest. I really wanted him to actually be able to, you know, glow. Unfortunately, that looked like ass. And glowing was simply just not an option, unfortunately. In fact, it was so bad that right now, it looks like it's glowing, which it is. But later, I changed it, and so it's no longer glowing, okay? Because it just looked terrible, okay? And the same thing with the arms and legs, because I tried to make it like look like you can't see it, like it's a shadow. But later I did change this. It looks terrible, okay? Now, onto the eyeball. The eyeball, I tried multiple things. I tried to make it look good, and I just couldn't figure out what to do. Then I remembered, glass! Glass! If you don't know, glass is something people usually do to make things look good for eyeballs, you know? Usually they'll have one layer of like a thin layer of glass, then underneath it they'll have some kind of like, I don't know, glossy eyeball thing, you know. I ended up making the eyeball actually glow later on. Currently it's not glowing, but it will be glowing in the future, trust me. And honestly, I think it looks pretty cool at the end, whenever it's finished. Now, I started to make his beautiful pupil, and I was thinking about how I would make it circulate around the eyeball correctly. You see, there's this little thing you can do in the bone mode, where you have several bones in the area where you want it to be. One bone will follow the other and only look in its direction. It won't follow it, it'll just look in its direction. You see, so I was trying to figure that out, and I did several things to mess with it. I tried making the eyeball move with it. I tried making only the pupil move, which near the end actually worked pretty well, you know, and I was getting pretty sick of it. So I just selected the eyeball itself, mirrored it together, you know, like I duplicated it, mirrored it together, made it very small and connected it with the eyeball. And then this is when I started messing with it so much, I just gave up. I was like, okay, this is good enough, okay, it's good enough. You know what I mean? Finally, I started to mess with the eyelashes. Yes, I know. It is the most beautiful thing ever, isn't it? Now, I was thinking of adding like, eyelids, because sometimes he blinks in the show, you know, and I thought, huh, why don't I try to do that? It did not go well. I realized that his head is it's kind of too skinny for that. So, in the long end, I decided, nah, he's not blinking at all. I don't even know how I'd make him blink in the first place, but whatever. Now, I was trying to do something really fun, okay? Which was try to make, like, a cartoonish outline. As you can see, most of the time when you see him, he's glowing. I couldn't really add the glowing effects that well, so I tried to make a cartoony glowing effect. Guess how that turned out? So, I've learned today that apparently that only works in, Eevee. Not Cycles. Only Eevee. Which, if you didn't know, is a viewport. Which, Eevee sucks. It looks terrible. It is absolute dog shit. Trust me. Unless if you're looking for the most cartoonish shit in the world, you're not gonna select Eevee, alright? Or if you're lazy. Cycles hates, and I mean hates, a cartoony outline. So, I wasn't able to add that, unfortunately. I finally started to add the bones, okay? This is when I started to add everything for the hat, you know, which, yes, don't ask, the hat has multiple bones. The body, I was planning on having it bend, since sometimes I remember him bending in the show, but nah, that's too hard with that big eye in the middle, you know. I got his fingers, and, you know, just everything that you usually need, you know. Now, I added something new to this one. I gave him toes. That's right, I gave him freaking toes. Now, this is something I never thought I'd ever add to anything, but here we are. He's got toes. So, yeah, he can move his feet, I mean his foot and his toe. So, yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Okay, now later on, you don't, this isn't here currently, but later, you will see that, he will have an extra bone, okay? That, allows him to move his arms to any location, because I forgot that his arms move in different locations than, like, normal, you know? It's not always in the same location. So I had to figure out a way of how he'd, you know, be able to move his arms under his triangle, you know? So, I figured that out later. So, don't worry. Yeah. Now, remember that eye thing I was talking about? Well, that's exactly what I added. So I did the selecting thingies, and, now it works. It works well. Now, I added the, I added the bones to the body, and realized just how freaking terrible everything was. Like, the arm was moving the triangle, you know, and whenever the arm would bend, it wouldn't bend correctly. It would just, like, move a flat part, which is, it's weird. So I kind of started messing with the body a bit, you know, with both edit mode for the model and also edit mode for the bones, you know, and I was trying to just move everything into the correct places, you know, and trying to just figure out how everything would move around, you know. Finally, after that was done, I did a nice, simple 2 hours. It took 2 hours to finish my weight painting. That is a while for weight painting, okay? I mean, holy shit. Also, I completely forgot to add the bones to the bow ties, so I did that very quickly after I got most of the other things finished. Yeah, so most of the process of this, most of the process for this little guy was literally just weight painting. I'm not even joking with you right now. Weight painting. Okay? Like, oh, here's something there that shouldn't be selected. Here's something here that should be selected. Oh, do you want this thing to move or this thing not to move? And, you know, like, everything's getting selected that shouldn't be selected. It was a pain in the ash. Ash. Yep. Ash. But yeah, finally. After all of that was done, and I'd finally changed his nice little body, you know, color to be normal, I realized I forgot his cane. So, I tried a few times to do that. It didn't come out that well, but I don't know how to make a cane, so don't blame me, okay? Just, it looks fine. Okay, it's good enough, okay? Oh yeah, also for some reason I decided to make a little keychain for him. I don't know why, but hey, it looks pretty cool to me, you know. His eye floats in the middle and stuff like that. I don't know, I think it looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, I'm not selling this to the public. Why? I honestly do not know. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to. You make it yourself, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think the keychain looks pretty cool. I honestly like how it turned out, but sorry, I'm not selling it to the public. Yeah, sorry. But anyways, here we go. This is the final product of the Bill Cipher, okay? Now there will be a completely separate thing after this, just, finally, after 7 long hours, we have Bill Cipher finished. We have Bill, the iconic little guy. We have his cane, which sometimes shows up, you know, if you know what I'm referencing to, you know. Yeah, there's also this one right here, which is a keychain, actually. My own keychain. So, this isn't gonna be selling on the Blender thing. I'm not gonna be giving this away. You can just make this yourself. I'm sorry, man, but I must keep this craftiness to myself. I love how it looks. I think it would do well 3D printed. But anyways, back to the Bill. So, this dude has a lot of mechanics. I love him so much. Also, just look how he looks in here. This is awesome. So, he has, like, you know, normal stuff. I would have made him have, like, no, like, color. You can barely see him or something. But I decided, nah, because, like, man, you need to see the man sometimes. You know, how will you know he's bending those toesies? So, anyways, the bones. So, this dude has a lot of interest in mechanics here. So my favorite part would probably be his eyes, if not the bow tie or the hat. Because it's just like, you can move it, yeah, it's like a normal eye. And also, yes, sadly it does have some limitations to how far it can go, which is kind of sad to me. Oh god. But, at the very least, I will say though, it's kind of good because you can, this thing, like, you can make it stretchy, you know, make it big. You know, like he's in his killing phase, or maybe he's like scared, or maybe he's high. I don't know, but you can change his eyes, so, or his eye, I guess. It's pretty cool. I was thinking of adding an eyelid here, you know, a few eyelids, but that can't fit inside of his large I mean, very thin, small head, body, I suppose. Um, yeah. So the bow tie, has some normal stuff. It can move wherever it wants. Don't worry, I'll fix that. Um, it can rotate. And this little thing, it can bend like this. Look at that. So, you want floppy bow tie? Sure, have floppy bow tie. Maybe it's when he's sad. Maybe you can have it down. You know, this thing, it's the bone. The bone ends down here, or it starts down here. So instead of just like turning on its own, it'll rotate around the head for the most part. So it looks pretty good. And these things I think are pretty cool. I like this a lot. You can, hell yeah. Look at that. You can bend the freaking hat. So his hat has emotions too now. Has emotions too now. The hat too has emotions. Okay, so this is the friendly little guy here. The arms. The arms, yes. They can move to any position because sometimes they're down here. Sometimes they're up here. Sometimes you just need to like change the position of where they're in. Oh, I want to do that and do this. I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend adding this. I don't know why I added this, but if you want to, you can rotate this. But it'd be recommended to use this thing. But sometimes if you need it for something specific, then just use this. It's fine. This is like a normal arm, yeah. Though I like how the hand looks. You see it rotates, but like it actually rotates well. So like, well, it rotates well to an extent. It looks like a normal hand. That's all it really needs, right? Yes, I know. I do have some errors on this, and I am going to fix that after this video comes out. Okay. Or wait, before this video comes out, so all you have to do is just look in the description and you'll see like a released version. It won't have bugs like this or, the bow tie being able to, move this. This is just me doing a recording to make sure everybody knows how it looks here currently. They know what they're looking at. Okay. Now the same things with the legs. Sometimes they'll be stretched out, and sometimes they need to be, together a little bit more. So you can move them. Also, yes, you can still rotate them like this. And, and like this. I don't know why you invented it that way, but yeah, he has little toes. Look at that. Let's rotate this one. Let's make this one go up, I suppose. You see, so he's got little toes as well as feet. This seriously is nothing like I've ever done before. I actually really like how it came out. And oh yeah, turn off the lights here. And we get a nice little glimpse of his glowing eye in the dark. I'll show you some reference images I made for him, since, I don't know, I thought they're pretty cool. You have your own thoughts, but these are the images. Okay, they're just gonna be show-off images, I suppose. Oh yeah, one last thing I forgot to showcase, or two more things I forgot to showcase. First of all, This thing's like a gold, so it's pretty cool. I didn't really introduce this much. If you want to make this yourself, it's pretty damn easy. You just make a triangle, wireframe, you get some ovals, you get some, forgot what it's called, let's see. You get some toruses, and you just put them together like rings. This is basically the, other ring thing, and, over here, it's like, this thing has a boxed bottom, and everything has the bricks, except for one. I mean, this does have the bricks, but, like, it has this thing in the middle, it's his bow tie, and this ring will be carrying 2 extra littler rings, which will be holding this thing. Make sure to keep them split apart, so it actually works. And this thing is just like swings around inside of his head. I'm not sure if this works, but you can try to make it yourself. So I thought that would just be fun. I don't know. I'm not gonna give it to you. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. So we also have a cane. Here's one of the images some of the images I did showing his nice little cane here. You know, um, it. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not sure. Um, I'm not good with making canes. I've never really done that before, so you can't judge me, okay? This is a one-on-one effort, okay? I don't know how to make canes, and I probably could have searched it, I guess, but who cares? But yeah, this thing rotates in his hand, and it rotates from a specific angle. So I thought that would be useful instead of just like bending from down here. I'm not sure. You guys can tell me what you think. But this is how I made the cane. So that's literally everything. I'm not sure how good it looks to everyone else, but to me, I think it came out pretty well. He has all the functions. In fact, he has new functions. His hat bends. you know, I think that's pretty cool. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think down below in the description. You can tell me what you think. But for now, that's all I have. Please subscribe, leave a like, and comment. By the way, with commenting, I will respond, or at least like every single one, because I don't get many of those. So, please do that. Also, please buy the new book of Bill. I've read it, and it is pretty good. It's pretty damn good. In fact, that's what inspired me to make this in the first place. And also, the other reason I decided to make this was because, dude, there are barely any of these online. I mean, have you looked online? There's nothing. Okay, there's barely any 3D models, and when there is, it sucks. There's one 3D model I can see in there that actually looks good. So, yeah. So, yes, please download my model. Thank you. I will see you in the next one.